Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing by and welcome to the NASCAR Cam video teleconference. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. In a few minutes, we will conduct a question-and-answer session. Instructions on procedure will be given at that time. As a reminder, this conference is being recorded. I would now like to turn the conference over to our host, NASCAR's Josh Hamilton.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's NASCAR teleconference in advance of Sunday's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Geico 400 at Chicagoland Speedway, the first of 10 races in the 2011 chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Today's guest is Kyle Busch, driver of the number 18 M&M's Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Kyle enters the chase as the top seed with 4 wins on the season. This is the 5th time that Kyle has made the chase. His career best finish in the point standings is 5th in 2007. Kyle has success at Chicagoland Speedway, winning the 2008 race from the Coors Light pole. In 6 races at the track, he has 2 top 5 finishes and a driver rating of 98.3. Kyle, thanks for joining us today, and we're going to open up with a fan question from Twitter. Today's question comes from Mindy, who asked a question many want to know the answer to. What do you think your chances are of winning the championship this year now that you start the chase number 1 in points?
Well, I certainly like to think our chances are pretty good to win the championship after being the top seed and winning the most races in the first 26, but also being the most consistent and being the points leader after the first 26 races. So we start out with great momentum on our side and really looking forward to these final 10 races. Starting this week in Chicago should go well. Hope it goes well, and after Homestead, we're the guy that's on top and hoisting that trophy.
Great. Thanks a lot, Kyle. And we'll now go to media questions for Kyle Busch.
Thank you. The floor is now open for questions. If you do have a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad at this time. If at any time your question has been answered, you can remove yourself from the queue by pressing 1. And if you are using a speakerphone, we ask that while posing your question, you pick up your handset to provide favorable sound quality. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad at this time. One moment while we poll for questions. Our first question is from Dwight Drum of Racetake.com. Please state your question.
Thank you. Kyle, social media has changed communication globally, and some drivers embrace it, some don't. Both you and your wife use Twitter. What do you like best about Twitter, and do you have any thoughts about the future of social media with NASCAR?
Yeah, so certainly social media has come a long ways in our sport and what we've been able to do. NASCAR has their own Twitter account. A lot of drivers do. Some sponsors actually do promotions through it and everything else. So it's about hitting the masses and just being able to, give your side, have a kind of a speech that you may not have or may not have the opportunity to have. And the fans love it. They're able to interact with you. It's not quite like having your cell phone number, but almost is. They're still able to get a hold of you, I guess. And, sometimes we do times where we give questions and answer sessions and stuff like that via Twitter, as well as Facebook, and being able to get and connect with our fans that love us and pull for us so passionately.
Do you think that the fans, it's a good thing to build another bigger fan base by being able to use it and connect with more?
Certainly. Anytime that you're able to, have people retweet you or anything, it hits their audience, and then those people who retweet it hits their audience. So it expands, it blows up like a spider web, So certainly it's beneficial to us all, and we try to use it to the best we can, and of course, getting people interested and back into the seats and the grandstands and coming out to enjoy our races and what we can do out on the racetrack.
Thanks, Kyle. Good luck in the chase.
Thanks.
The next question is from Bob Pockrass of SceneDaily.com. Please state your question.
Yeah, Kyle, I was curious if there's been anything that you point to in past chases that kind of you say, okay, I can't do that in this one.
Well, certainly we look at 2008 as being a really good year that we had. We won 8 races and we were the top seed going in the chase, and then first 3 races right out of the gate we faltered. We had a sway bar bolt come loose, and then we blew up at Dover, and then we got I think a fuel pickup problem or something at Kansas. So those are issues that we have as a team that we need to make sure that we don't have this time around. And also last year's chase, with myself and David Rudiman getting into each other at Kansas, that certainly didn't help anything either. So, those are things that I can do as well as the team can do that can make us better and stronger, and to not let ourselves give it away. Certainly there's a great chance for us to win it, and it's going to come down to the man with the least mistakes.
Is there any part of you that's like, man, I've come into the chase in the past doing so well, why won't this happen during these last 10 weeks?
No. I sometimes you just don't understand the way the world works, but it can certainly spin off in some weird ways. There's things that you can do to help prevent some of those, and we can be smart about it, but sometimes it comes down to how you make your own luck.
Thank you.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad at this time. The next question is from Robert DeRogi of BRD Broadcasting. Please state your question.
Thank you. Kyle, is there more stress on you as a driver when you're in the chase, as compared to driving in that regular season?
Certainly there is. When you go through the regular season, you're striving to make the chase, and when you feel like you're in a good position, all the stress is off you. You're whether you're number 1 in points or whether you have the most wins in the season, and you're a lock for the chase. It certainly makes your life a lot easier. Guys like Tony Stewart and Clint Boyer and those guys that were further back that didn't have wins, and fighting for their way to be in the chase. It can certainly be stressful for the first 26 races, and then it's almost a relief once you get to the race for the chase. So for us, though, there's going to be an added pressure, but right now, we just want to keep going with how we've been doing all year and keep the consistency going. Hopefully, run strong at these first few chase races to get a good foundation built up and see who the players are going to be, and then race a little harder when we get down to the final 4 or 5.
Fans have asked me, they say to me, Bob, how the heck does Kyle do it? He drives in the nationwide races, the truck races, now, of course, the chase. Can you explain to the people, in your own words, how you do it?
Yeah, racing in all 3 series is something that I've done for a long time, and I love doing it. It gives me the added time on the racetrack and gives me a feel that I can be looking for, whether it's racing the truck or the nationwide car or the cup car. Having that time to see how the tire changes throughout a run, to feel the different things about the racetrack that you might feel. Maybe there's a seam that I run over in the truck that I've never felt in the cup car, and it reacts a certain way. So, those things are always nuances that you pick up on, and by running so many races throughout the year, sometimes you forget about those, and how we ran at Kansas earlier this year might not quite be indicative about how we can run at Kansas later this year. So, getting that added experience and those times on the racetrack that can certainly help us. And yet, people will say, well, you're not spending enough time with your crew chief. You're running back and forth between garage areas. There's plenty of time. Trust me, when the garage is closed, it doesn't mean that you can't talk to your crew chief. You can still go to his motorhome, or he can come over to yours, or talk to each other on the phone.
Thank you very much, Kyle. Continued best of luck in the chase.
You got it. Thanks.
The next question is from Mike Hembry of Speed.com. Please state your question.
Kyle, several drivers are talking about the fact that one bad finish in the chase this year can really put you in big trouble. How do you sort of balance trying to run in the top 10, but you also kind of have to be careful not to goof up and be over-aggressive and put yourself out early? Where's the balance there?
I think the balance lies within just making sure that you do what you're used to doing all year long, not worrying about anybody else. If you have a bad race, you can't put so much pressure on yourself to have to make it back up right then and there. You got to do what you can do. And if you have a bad race, let's say you're leading the points going into Phoenix and you have a bad race and it knocks you back to 8th in points and it just eliminates you from a chance for the championship, that's it. There's nothing you can do about it. It certainly stinks, but you're not going to change anything. It's over and done with. You're going to be mad about it and dwell on it and say, well, there goes another year, another wasted opportunity. But certainly there's value to just making sure that you're consistent and doing what you can try to do and protect yourself. And if you make some stupid mistake or dumb mistake, you can only put it back on yourself, you know. So there's an added pressure there, certainly, that one race can kill it, but you know, you've got to go along. If it happens, it happens.